happens when you double draw into top 8. You don't have a great seed.
So what happened here, guys, is Jason Schumacher and Longton thought they'd just keep their winnings and go home because they're tired. So.
Yeah, I think there was maybe some kind of split that happened, but mainly the thing that matters is that we're going to get some sweet magic.
Yeah.
Right now, we got Michael Wallio playing Burn.
Blitz v. Burn.
Blitz v.
This
Burn.
is actually a fairly
Blitz v.
tactical
Burn.
matchup. So
we gotta be a little bit quieter. Holly, if you can go and update the thing, that'd be great.
So this is going to be interesting. So
We have to be a little bit quieter though, because there's less sound now.
yeah, that's fair. So a thing about this matchup, I have played not only this matchup, but also I've played a lot of Burn v Infect in Modern, which is extremely similar. And by extremely similar, I mean is basically the exact same matchup.
Yeah.
This is a really weird one because Burn, if it plays like an aggro deck, will just lose this matchup.
Yeah.
You are not fast enough. You just are not fast enough to actually beat them if they can combo. If they can't combo, you're a bit more consistent than them. But on their fast hands, they just kill you. So a lot of the time, what Burn decks end up doing against Infect or against Blitz or against Tireless Tribe is they turn themselves into a weird control deck, and they put their Chain Lightnings at face, or they put not at face. They put their Chain Lightnings at creatures, and they put their they have their Searing Blazes to try and kill things while also dealing damage, and it works really well. Something that's a little different for this right now than for Burn v Infect is that some of Lauren's creatures are too large for many of Michael Wallio's burn spells.
Namely the Mimic Cyclops.
Yes.
So actually, in a turn of events, hey, if everyone is wondering, this is the last round of Rags to Riches 19, Rags to Riches IXX Elan, and we are seeing actually two former Rags to Riches winners coming back to run it back. Michael Wallio has won before with Burn. Lauren Mulligan actually run Rags to Riches 18 with Izzet Blitz. So we are coming back in. Who do you think is favored here? Andrew.
My inclination is to say that Blitz is slightly faster.
Yeah.
And that because Lauren Mulligan has the option of going for Nivix Cyclops and having that just be too big for burn spells, she's a little bit favored. It's hard for Michael Wallio to play a control game here.
And answering a question from chat from Cash Flows over Innistrad, we are seeing a 1-2 G2 Lava Runner, the Goblin Guide now of Pauper, in kind of the red deck wins version of Burn. Giving a little bit of reach, giving a little bit more damage, maybe even a potential blocker against Lauren Mulligan, but that doesn't often happen. So we're going to see a cantrip come down here. It's going to be a Gitaxian Probe.
Being paid for with mana.
Now, have we seen Izzet Blitz in this tournament yet? Have we shown it?
We have not had it on stream yet today.
So let's break down generally how Lauren's planning to win. Generally, how it goes is Lauren is trying to find Kiln Fiend or Killed Fiend or Nivix Cyclops. So these are the two main ones, and it's this Nivix. So here is Nivix Cyclops. Both of these cards get +3/+0 whenever you cast a instant or sorcery spell, and if you just have this plus 2 free spells plus a Teamer Battle Rage or a Fling, you win.
And that's just basically you untap with one of these and threaten to kill at pretty much any moment.
And it turns out they can also beat down pretty well.
The nice thing about, the build that Lauren is running is definitely one of the worst at beating down. She's focusing much more on the combo plan. And in fact, we see an elusive Spellfist here, which I'm going to bring up, not a card you see a lot in this match at all.
And the thing is, I was talking to Lauren a little bit beforehand. Lauren won last Rags to Riches off the back of the Spellweaver Eternal, and she was like, I wasn't really into Spellweaver Eternal. Turns out I just did better Gatherer Search, and I found Elusive Spellfist. Elusive Spellfist turns out can punch through a lot more damage. The 3 toughness is a lot harder to kill. you're really, really, really going to want to do this. We're actually going to see a shock come down.
Shock coming down,
And that
from
is going to deal
Wallio.
2 damage to this 3 toughness creature, really just illuminating how much better the 3 toughness is versus the 1 toughness off of the
Absolutely.
Spell Weaver Turtle. Now, shock is interesting. Wallio playing 1 shock in his deck. He just wanted to be able to get in for 2 more damage, 1 more damage there, and also shock. It's just better than some of the other cards you're playing. And sometimes you just want something that can do kind of an all-right bolt.
Absolutely.
And shock is like mediocre bolt.
I mean, we saw a burn deck here on camera that actually may have been nbob20, who's in chat's list with the Lava Runners,
Yeah.
and the Keldon Marauders, and we were talking about how so there's very much were not shocks in that list, I promise you. So what I love is that although these burn decks have a similar plan, and the Lava Runners here for Michael Wallio's list, but so they're both doing that, but I'm pretty confident that Michael does not like Keldon Marauders, and so Shock is a card that we see instead.
Yeah.
There may be other differences, and I'm actually going to take a look at that list, but meanwhile, Lauren here is going to cast another cantrip in that Ponder. And how many triggers is that so far this
2.
turn? So, I mean, could get in for 3. Elusive Spellfist definitely good at just getting in occasional damage, since you don't have to use any of your resources to get rid of blockers.
Definitely, and it can just chip in for, it can do it pretty Lauren Mulligan, Izzet Blitz in general, is trying to cast a bunch of cantrips in the early game, and letting Elusive Spellfist on turn 2, it does a pretty good block job if your opponent doesn't do the doesn't shock, so you can get through a couple damage there. But also, it turns your spells into damage, and that's really all this deck is trying to do. I mean, of course, more damage than 1 is typically trying to do 3 damage per spell, but
Exactly.
this is just like a little babby version.
So, Michael here, Rift Bolting Lauren's face, not wanting to target that Elusive Spellfist, just I guess figuring that he can race the, 3 to 5 damage per turn from that, which seems pretty good to me. And Lauren is going to go down to 6 here, taking damage off of that Level Runner. So, what do you think about blocking with that 1/3 rather than, just saying I'll leave my 1/3 up and then block the Lava Runner, rather than getting in for 3 that turn?
I like getting it for 3 that. I mean, actually, okay, so the reason why Lauren did that is because Lauren is at 6 and doesn't want to lose. So, lose to a Fire Blast, lose to a just anything else. We see a Searing Blaze actually out of Michael Wallio. I think that's actually 2 Searing Blazes and
Which
a bolt.
is kind of awkward for him. He really wants to find a land here, which is not something you say a lot about the burn deck at this stage of the game. Certainly, when we saw the burn deck, they were way more flooded than Michael is. Michael playing 19 mountains, so we saw a 17 mountain burn deck be flooded pretty hard, and Michael here looking for another mountain on 19. And we've talked about him playing 18 before, but he's not even playing any of the red cycling land. He's just playing
a bunch of
19 mountains. And this deck, by the way, playing 4 Firebrand Archer, 4 G2 Lava Runners. So
that seems like a pretty good spread.
So Lava Runners, which is the same as the other burn list we saw, but instead of Keldon Marauder, Michael likes Archer, and certainly Archer is better when you have 19 mountains in your deck.
Definitely.
Because you just want to be able to play that and just fire off a bunch of spells before they can remove it. Michael here going to untap after Lauren just passes back.
He doesn't have a land to power up that either of those Searing Blazes, but
that's right.
I think Michael's sitting pretty, bolt face, and he's just looking for pretty much any means of doing that. That Daze sitting in Lauren's hand.
That's going to be huge.
It's pretty rough at this point.
I mean, no. So the thing is that Michael has lethal if Lauren doesn't have that Daze.
True.
So, Lauren wants to hit her land drops, so it can be awkward there.
So is it just over for Lauren here?
I mean, if Michael doesn't draw a land... So the funny thing is that if Michael draws a land, that Searing Blaze is fairly lethal.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't draw a land, he just drew a spell, so that's also probably lethal.
It's a bolt, yeah.
By the way, there are 3 Shocks and 3 Incinerates, as well as 3 Flame Rift in Michael's deck. So 3 Shock are potential outs for Lauren as draws that don't kill her, but pretty much the rest of the deck...
Well, he has a bolt in his hand.
Right, but she can Daze it. So unless Michael wants to play around Daze by untapping before he casts the bolt, which would be very heads up. I mean, Michael's a good player. He's top-8 a lot of these. He's won at least one in the past. And
yeah, it's gonna be interesting here for Lauren, because Lauren's pathway to victory has to be resolving a tapping mana to get a killing feed on the battlefield, but that could easily eat a bolt.
Absolutely. And Apostle's Blessing is very awkward here.
Very awkward, yeah. What does that do? Not much at all. So
So-
Michael Wallio likely going to win this game.
Ponder for Lauren. I think she's still in it. I mean, this deck has a lot of interaction. It has a lot of counter magic. It has a lot of ways to stop Burn from just straight up winning the game. And we're going to take a look at the list as well. So main deck, the deck has 3 days as well as 3 mutagenic growth, which doesn't do much here. And 1 Apostle's Blessing, also not ideal. So the only counter magic main deck is just the 3 days, and I think she's got 2 in her hand. But because Michael is short on lands here, that's pretty good. That's like kind of where she wants to be. And I think Michael might go for lethal.
Yeah, Volt here.
I think that actually, like, I kind of see where Michael's coming from here. He's afraid of some crazy sequence,
Yeah.
just killing him out of nowhere with the Teamer Battle Rage. And I mean, you need a lot of spells, but I don't see it's not completely like
Well,
mutagenic growth is a
free,
lot.
free spells are out of the question though, because he has. All right, so here's a Ponder. He's like,
he
sure.
says sure. Yeah, I mean, if you want something like mutagenic growth, spell, other spell, something like some of these lists play the Reckless Charge, which is a real card, and then a Teamer Battle Rage holding up. That could definitely be enough damage just with this 1/3, since that's a lot.
Seeing here it comes, it's coming down to the wire here.
So the idea here is that if Lauren doesn't have lethal this turn, Michael can just end of turn go for the lightning bolt, and then if she has like a counter spell like a daze, then he can untap and a land is lethal with the Searing Blaze, and pretty much every spell in his deck is all for lethal. So
I mean, if Lauren pulls this one out, mad respect. Like that's going to be really, really difficult.
Lauren pulling this one out, like, is basically what we saw the entirety of the last top 8 of the Rise Riches. Lauren was basically just like stealing back impossible positions. So Michael, interesting. So
Manamorphose is a good one.
Michael could have gone Lightning Bolt in response to that Manamorphose, and she would not have been able to cast any spells in response. Now she can, except for Daze, because the
Daze.
Manamorphose on the stack doesn't have any mana. So that tells me that Michael is playing specifically around Daze here, and is planning to just untap and then cast Lightning Bolt through Daze.
All right, TBR
Well,
coming
here's Team
down.
Battle Rage. So how many spells has Lauren played this turn?
I think 4.
Yeah, there's
That's
another
10 damage?
Brainstorm. 4 spells. So if this is the 4th spell, then it's 10 damage.
See, this is really the power of that thing. Is he's looking at it, he's like, all right, 10 damage, you got it. I go to 7.
Michael says that's fine. If you're not killing me, I don't have to use this bolt.
Mutagenic goes to
There
1.
it is.
Ooh,
Wait,
spicy.
I think Lauren just wins here.
I think Lauren might just win here.
So
I mean,
that's
Mutagenic goes
additional.
plus 2 plus 2.
That's just 6 more damage, right? So that's she's one off unless we miscount the spells.
Yeah, it's 6 more damage.
So here's the thing: if like Michael casts Lightning Bolt,
You can't daze her own thing.
no. If Michael casts Lightning Bolt, she dazes it and then wins.
I know.
And if he doesn't, he goes to 1.
This is so good.
This is awesome. I think this is only 16. I'm not sure on the math. She could have dazed her own card and then dazed the daze. I think she has 2.
I don't think she has 2.
Yeah, she has 2. It looks like, okay,
Goes to
Michael's at
1.
1.
Oh, it's so good. She scoops it up.
Oh.
Oh, heartbreaker.
So she just says, I could get you to 1, but that's it. Because the Gitu Lava Runner there is just lethal. I think she wanted to like try to get Wallio to bite and then go for the daze for the
No,
lethal.
but he's like, I am lethal.
Wallio
Like-
is a good player. This is gonna be great. That already was just a very sick game 1. Wallio up a game. Wallio seems favored for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But
What's up, Andrew?
I was just say, like, this is just further. This is just me going off a little further on what I was saying earlier. While a lot of the time red aggro decks can be very easy to play, and like it's easy to hit 95% with them, is what it feels like. There are times where you have to actually make some choices. That one was mostly just like, all right, I'm gonna chill out and know that I don't need to do much. But there are a lot of times where, especially for burn, weirdly, you have to make some strange choices. And matchups like this are another example of that, where you have to know how your clock is affected by like, do I need to remove this creature or not, or do I need to try and kill their combo creature and stuff like that. And it's it can be very interesting to play, even though like you really are only picking up the last 3 or 4%, not the last like 30% that you have to with a lot of control and combo decks.
That said, we're here in the finals of a you know, 64-player competitive event. So this is where you want to be picking up your 3 or 4%.
Definitely.
This is the place. And I mean, Lauren showed off there that if she had just found 1 additional damage earlier on in that game, this would have just been over.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Michael also showing off that if he hadn't put her all the way down there, that he wouldn't have been able to threaten that lethal and force her to not be able to go off there. I mean, this has just been super tight so far. Both of these players very experienced and just very good players in general. And I think it's already been pretty exciting, and it's just going great. IMO. All right, so why don't we take a look at the sideboards here?
Yeah, let's check it out. So Wallio's coming in. He's got Pyroblast. It's going to be very strong. And that is it. It's Pyroblast.
Pyroblast. What else does he have in there?
3 of them. He's got an Incinerate. He's got 4 Smash and Smithereens, 3 Electric Trickery, 2 Relic, 2 Flaring Pain.
Relic.
Oh, Progenitus.
Is that a common? Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, Lauren Mulligan's got a Flaring Pain, 2
Definitely.
Apostle's
$6
Blessing,
common.
3 Pyroblast.
Oh,
Is Relic of Progenitus $5 or $6? That's great, because I bought like a bunch of them at 50 cents like a few years ago, and then just thought that it was a bunch of wasted money, but I guess it worked out there.
Vapor Snag is pretty good.
I think
Vapor
that
Snag and Hydroblast.
Hydroblast is great. Sky Spawner does not seem where you want to be. Vapor Snag seems like all right. You can stop some damage. Generally not great against burn decks. It depends on, you know, if these players know what each other's playing, because Vapor Snag is better against some creatures than others. For example, Keldon Marauders. If that gets Vapor Snag, you're usually pretty fine with that. But if you're Vapor Snagging a Firebrand Archer, that could be more of an issue. Certainly, Vapor Snagging the 0/3 Defender is serious, but I definitely think we're going to see the Pyroblast and Hydroblast come in, which is going to make this matchup just a lot slower in general. Who do you think that benefits?
I think it benefits. I don't know. It's really close. I think, in all honesty, it's just like a little bit more interaction from both. I think a little bit more interaction benefits Michael Wallio, because being able to interact with cards in the battlefield are just gonna be so, like those Pyroblasts are gonna be so brutal against every single spell that except for Kiln Fiend, right? Kiln Fiend is the name of the game here, but Kiln Fiend eats a bolt really easily.
Look, the fact is that Michael's deck is slower than Lauren's, but he can point every burn spell that he has at her face and then 1 at her creatures, and he always has enough burn spells. Like,
Yeah.
his entire deck is 1 mana cards that kill her creatures. That's his whole deck. I mean, he's got a lot of
Except
spikes.
for Nivik Cyclops.
That's true. Nivik Cyclops does take 2 spells or something a little bit fancier like a blast, but Lauren's going to ship him back, and that does not look good for her. Looks like 2 mountains, Fire Blast.
Also, hi Emily. Emily's watching, so hi.
Nice. So Michael is going to keep his 7. And Lauren here, gonna take a look at a 6. Also, hi Natalie, because Natalie's watching, but whatever.
Love you, babe. It's my girlfriend.
Yeah, same. Lauren is gonna pick up 6 here, and there are a couple lands in there, so it looks like she might be okay with this. Yep, gonna keep. There's a Kiln Fiend. Gonna take a look at the top card.
All right. So we're seeing the Terramorphic Expanse come down. It's pretty good. It's gonna get Lauren exactly what they need.
That's what she
Seeing
wants
the bolt.
here.
Yep.
Chain
Welcome
Lightning
back.
coming down for Michael Wallio.
Lightning you. Got to throw those out early, as Lauren is feasibly able to redirect those.
Yeah,
or
Chain
copy
Lightning.
them if
We saw
she'd
that
like.
happen earlier against the Goblins deck. And Chain Lightning, an interesting common, very complex as far as commons go, but basically does not want to give Lauren the opportunity to copy the Chain Lightning for double red, although it's very unlikely to happen, but it's also a sorcery speed spell, and you gotta run something out here. So, Lauren is going to untap here after getting a mountain. Michael Wallio is playing 4 Firebrand Archer and 4 Gitu Lava Runner as the only creatures.
All right, Kiln Fiend. This is Lauren's pathway to victory.
Right, so here is an island and a Kiln Fiend. Lauren is now asking Michael a question.
Lauren have a
because
daze?
That's the question here.
All right, Searing Blaze
Searing
targeted.
Blaze.
All right, it's out.
That's
no
exactly
daze out of.
the answer that Michael wants to have in this
Daze
situation.
is a 0 mana counterspell that returns an island to your hand. In case people aren't familiar with Daze, I'm just going to try and explain the cards that maybe you aren't familiar with. But here's the second Kiln Fiend. All right,
So,
Lauren's like bolt this.
This is why Lauren was more comfortable running out the first Kiln Fiend, probably. Searing Blaze is pretty good in
You
that
just got to
situation.
overwhelm those bolts.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta play your threats.
Third land, that's a lot of lands. All right, we've seen a Rift Bolt come down. strong.
I think
Lauren?
the third land's pretty good, but hitting it this early means that the chance of hitting your fourth is decent, and that would be pretty scary for Michael.
Yeah.
Lauren is going to untap after grabbing an island.
So you can triple Fire Blast in Michael Wallio's hand? Is that what's going on
I
here?
see at least 2.
That's pretty crazy. Fire Blast, you sacrifice 2 mountains, deals 4 damage. So that this card here, very strong, very good reach for the burn player. You really want to be able to, like, you can cast 4 burn spells and deal 8 damage.
One of the more powerful cards in Legacy Burn.
It's really
Fire
strong.
Blast, probably not close the most powerful card in the
Pauper burn deck.
Pauper burn deck, since it's a Legacy power level card. I mean, if Modern could play Fire Blast, Modern Burn, it would be ridiculous.
Absolutely.
So
All right, let's see here.
Lauren got to untap with the Kiln Fiend, but Michael's got a couple, I guess 1 Fire Blast available.
Yeah, Fire
This is
Blast
not-
with the
Metamorphose
Kiln
is
Fiend does
fine.
not feel that good. He's like, all right, Metamorphose. Ponder.
Ponder here, so 1 mana floating, and Kiln Fiend is now a 7/2.
I mean, Lauren Mulligan is looking at her hand. She's like, all right, I have the potential.
So response to the Ponder before she can find more stuff.
Pyroblast.
Pyroblast targeting Ponder.
All right, so
Alright,
you
so
want to
that's
stop. He wants to
fine.
stop the draw train in its tracks. And then TBR is coming down.
TBR.
Team Battle Rage, double
Are you
strike.
dead?
Are you dead? Is he dead?
Well, that's 20, so
Is that 20 damage?
That's
1,
20
2, 3.
damage.
Yeah, that looks like
that's,
20
that's
damage
the
to me.
thing. Spell,
That's-
Teamer
that's-
Battle Rage is lethal. but he's
And there's the
just gotta
Fire
go for
Blast,
the
4
Fire
damage.
Blast.
All right.
So
So,
if
that
Lauren-
is pretty brutal from Lauren, but also not that good for Michael. That's not that good for Michael, right?
So Lauren here, not able to daze that, even if she had one, since Michael had a couple of mana available.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, she didn't really spew much off there. All of her cards drew a card back,
Except for TBR.
except for Teamer Battle Rage. So
And Kill
Michael, right? So she lost 2 cards in that exchange, but Michael had to sack 2 lands. And
But he drew another
and
land
also
back.
use a fire. Yeah, but he's just drawn 2 lands in a row.
Land, Fire Blast, Fire
His
Blast. in
hand
right now.
is kind of awkward. Okay, so there's
Pyroblast is a really good draw.
Pyroblast. Lauren is actually pretty close to being dead. It's interesting because
It's 8 damage, right?
he needs to find a spell and a land to kill her. Because he can't cast both these Fire Blasts.
Yeah.
And Lauren's gonna draw. Does she have another threat? We
I mean,
didn't
really,
see
what
one
it is
last
that
turn.
Michael Wallio isn't just dead. Better than dying, yeah, definitely better than dying. So let's see here.
Neither of these players are just dead. As we said, more
Here's the
interaction
mountain
means that
pass.
this is gonna go for longer. There is
Gitu Lava Runner. All right, that's a
Lava
spell.
Runner.
Here we
That's
go.
got haste. We'll see what Lauren decides to do about this.
Lauren's, yeah, it's crunching in there. That
She
gets
might
that gets him
take 2.
twice, and there we go.
And then she's got to answer it with something, even if it's just an Nivix Cyclops to block or something like that. At least the
But
spell
Nivix
just
Cyclops
blocks it.
gets countered, is the thing.
That's true, unless she's got her own defensive counter magic. But
We're
Vapor
seeing the
Snag.
Vapor
All
Snag
right.
come down.
All
All
right.
right.
So interesting use of the Vapor Snag here, since the Water Runner will be able to come back down next turn or even now and still attack for 2. Only dealing 1. Often Vapor Snag bouncing a blocker, dealing 1, and increasing the power of a creature is why that card is good, since it does all the things you
We're
need.
seeing a card here that's getting obscured by a lot of glare, but it looks like it's actually
a Metamorphose
All right, and then a
into
Brainstorm.
Brainstorm.
All right, so a lot of drawing here. Lauren, what's Lauren looking for? Just a creature?
She just needs threats, and
Yeah.
her deck has
Pyroblasting.
11
Hydroblast
total.
the Pyroblast.
Hydroblast
All right.
the Pyroblast, going to protect her Brainstorm. Really needs the Brainstorm. Might have a way to shuffle, and Brainstorm lets you see a lot of cards.
Yeah, Michael Wallio is looking.
Looks like another Vapor Snag, as well as a Ponder. A Ponder's great here. She can put 2 cards back and then shuffle them away with the Ponder. Unless she doesn't have blue floating from the... Okay, but she's got an Evolving Wilds to shuffle, so that's pretty good for her.
right.
Unfortunately, because she has red mana available instead of blue, since she tapped blue-red for that Metamorphose,
So here's that 4th land.
she's going to take... Oh,
Lava
4th
Runner
land.
comes 4th land's good.
It's not lethal, though.
It's almost
She
one
goes to 9,
damage.
and you probably hold it because of the Searing Blaze
Blaze,
potential, although
yeah.
it doesn't really matter since the 1 damage does the trick no matter what. The Searing Blaze always
This
does
is
1.
another crazy close game.
Yeah, this
I mean,
is
Lauren has
super great.
also already presented lethal once.
So, like-
and Michael Wallio had the ability to kind of battle back, and he is still sitting right on the edge of taking his 2nd Rags to Riches win.
Yeah, so Lauren has to block, and she doesn't know this, but she has to block the Lava Runner or use the Vapor Snag she has, or maybe she shuffled that away.
Yeah.
And she has to resolve with the creature, and then she has to untap. So she has to live another turn here. because she doesn't have a creature in play.
All right, here's that Ponder. I mean, 4 mana is one way to do it. Like, having a lot of mana, having a lot of cantrips, Lauren can dig pretty deep into her deck.
Yeah, that's what her deck does. It's got 4 Ponder and 4 Preordain and 3 Brainstorm.
Looks like we're going to top 3 of those and then take a draw.
Gitaxian Probe might actually come out in this matchup.
I think she drew a Hydroblast. Or a Gush, you say?
Looks like a Gush. She's got 3 in the deck.
Preordain coming down. All right.
Gush pretty good here. 0 mana way to find more stuff.
And lands. It actually makes some mana. Because she hasn't played land this turn.
Interesting. Yeah, that's true. All right, so top bottom with the Preordain. Gonna draw.
Good. Right. Gush, here it is.
Gush these 2 cards back to my hand. I'm gonna draw a couple more cards.
Yeah. 1, 2.
That's a Nivix Cyclops is the draw, so that is gonna stop the Gitu Lava Runner and threaten lethal next turn. But so she tapped her blue. Oh, did she? No, she didn't. Very good.
She realizes she has that Hydroblast. So at least wants to represent the Hydroblast.
Which is she needs to do that, or she's just dead here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, she's dead to any spell.
Yeah.
Right, which Michael has a lot of in his deck, and is going to draw.
And what is he not showing us? Is it a bolt?
It's
like
a land.
Okay.
That's not what he wanted to see. Oh no, it's a bolt. It's a bolt.
It's a bolt.
It's definitely a bolt. So Michael has lethal through nothing. Question is, does she have nothing or not?
I think she has Hydroblast.
If she has Hydroblast, then she's in a pretty good spot to win next turn.
Also, can we acknowledge that we have all Rebecca Goy foil lands?
Very good. On both sides?
On both sides.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I wonder, do you know what set it's from?
I don't. Here, let's focus on the game
We
now.
could pull up the island, but this is really intense here. Michael passes it back.
Passes the
playing
turn.
around the interaction. I love it. Lauren is going to untap.
Lauren has an opening here.
Cyclops, I think, is the draw, but
I think I would have gone for it. Would you would have gone for it? I would have gone for it if I was Michael.
I don't know. Michael,
make her have it.
Michael benefited from waiting last game as well.
Yeah. Ooh. Michael, very conservative burn player, coming up trying to see if it works. We got one spell already.
It's worked well for him so far.
Here's 2 spells.
Brainstorm.
And we're seeing a response.
Okay, so here we go.
He's thinking about it. He's 4 mana. He's like, float 4 mana. He's going for it.
She's tapped out of blue.
He's floating 4 mana. He's going for it. He's like, all right.
She can't. She'd have
2 Fire Blasting.
No. No, Lauren could have played an island. She has one from the Gush, but she didn't, and she's losing because of that, I think.
And this is the bolt, and that is the game. Rags to riches, Hydroblast on top of the deck. Oh!
Michael Wallio wins this.
No blue
finals.
Mana. Oh,
2 games
man.
to 0.
Michael Wallio.
That was locked
got
when
it.
he cast that.
He locked when he cast it. Congratulations, Michael Wallio.
Wow.
We got some conflicted chat. No. Yes.
I'm personally,
right.
I mean, the chat is a good representation of my heart, since I am a fan of both of these players and a fan of both of the decks. The Izzet Blitz deck, lots of sweet tech, even just in difference from this time and last time. And we're definitely going to get these players in the booth pretty soon and just chat with them about their decks.
Definitely, yeah. Let's see if we can have it.
I'm going to go see if I can grab Michael really quick, and then maybe we can talk to Lauren about her deck as well.
Do you want to talk to Michael or Lauren?
I'll talk to Lauren, and maybe Andrew can talk to Michael.
Sounds great.
So why don't you go grab Michael?
Sure.
Yeah, that was just insane. That was like so many small edges there. I mean, I think Lauren was had a pretty decent shot to actually take that one down just by comboing off that turn. If she had been able to have the Hydroblast that she said was on, looks like maybe she didn't have in her hand, but was on top and could have maybe drawn it in response. Michael just we thought he should go for it, but he didn't, and he waited until she was tapped out of blue and he went for it. And if he didn't do that, I think that Lauren probably wins this game and he has to go to a game 3. Like, that's so huge. Michael Wallio just demonstrating the really, really tight play here. Really, really sick.
Absolutely, that was great play by both players. It's also it was nice. They both made a lot of very tight plays along this, and I would imagine along the course of the day. We've seen them many times in top 8, and every time they've both played very well. Very good Magic players.
Absolutely, both of these players. Wish we could have had more of Lauren's deck on camera, since it's very fun to watch, and her play is also very tight. But yeah, Michael Wallio just extremely, extremely tight play there, finding those small edges that end up mattering, and that's like. It's just so cool because Pauper is it's I mean, Henry's gushed about it a lot, obviously, but that's one of the cool things about Pauper is that you get to simulate that high level competitive play, the modern, the legacy play where all these small edges can matter a ton, but with such a low barrier to entry because it's Pauper. So we have our winner ready to come say hi in the booth.
Coming back to chat. Hi, chat. Welcome back. We have our winner here for you, Michael Wallio. Congratulations on winning.
Oh, thank you.
Is this your second time winning one?
Second time winning one, but I think I've top 8 a few of them.
Nice. Yeah, we knew you were both returning winners, and we were pretty excited to have a finals that was like, all right, we're about to have a repeat winner.
Yeah.
How do you feel coming in?
I'm really happy to have gotten there. I feel really dumb because I shocked something that was a 1-3.
we did see that.
I thought it was a 1-2, or she actually. So after she won, she wrote up this blog post about the changes she made to the list, because like everyone's been playing kind of a little bit more of a stock list, and then she made a lot of changes, and I was reading it, and she was playing a 2-1 before.
Yep, Spellweaver Eternal.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if that was still on the list, but I thought that's what it was, so I didn't even like look at it, and I was like shocking,
no.
and she's like okay, and I was like.
Why is that fine? That doesn't seem fine.
And then I read it and I was like,
I understand the feeling. You played very well though. We were impressed. Like there were a lot of tight lines where you just held back when a lot of us would have either gone for it or played right into a Hydroblast, and like you played very, very well.
I was so happy when I saw the Hydroblast hit my Pyroblast for the Brainstorm, because I had the double Fire Blast. I'm like, if one of these got hit, like,
oh man,
I think I'm done. And then, but like, I kind of feel that because from her entry, I read her blog post about the list and everything and her thoughts, and that really helped me out when playing against her. I was like, I should go for it. I was like, no, I know she runs this because she was talking about how good this was. I was like, I'm gonna hold, and like, so I kind of feel like
I get that.
I got some advantage from that, but.
Have you played matchups like this very often? Things like the Burn versus Infect style matchups.
I've played against Burn versus Infect in Legacy, and it always feels so, because there was a part where I Searing Blazed for the Kiln Fiend and I tapped out, and it's like, if she has days,
really,
I'm kind of done,
right?
And she just goes the next turn, I feel like. So I have, and it's terrifying for like every little thing.
It's like everything you're like, I think this is right.
It's like, does it resolve? Do I live? Because like, whenever they resolve Kiln Fiend or the Cyclops, you're just like, the next turn, I'm dead, right?
Right.
And then the one where she swung with the Battle Rage and everything else, and I keep double checking, I'm like, what is it at? What is it going to be at? Like, what is the damage going to be? And like, I'm like, as long as it's not lethal, I just need to hold. Because if she dazes, I was like, she wins. So it's like, no, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
I'll take 16.
I'll take 16. I'm at 17. Seems good.
16. One is not dead.
Yeah, that was my pure thought was like, as long as I'm not dead, as long as I get an untap, I win. That's
exactly.
So.
Yeah, I thought that was very good play because we were talking about that, because we saw the daze in her hand and we're like, if he goes for it, he's got her.
And the thing too is I'm like counting, and she's like, okay, red blue floating, and I'm like, okay, red blue floating, and then she's tapped out and she's like mutagenic, and I'm like, okay, well, the trigger plus the 2 plus the battle rage. I'm like, I don't think this is lethal, and like. It's like, any response? If it's not lethal with the double strike, no.
I'm good. You got it.
And it's like, and if you have some way of getting it, that one last trigger, I was like, I will bolt your face, and we will see what happens. But other than that, I'm sitting comfy until I untap.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again. I think
Thank
we're
you.
about to pull in Lauren for a quick interview too. Congratulations. That was awesome.
Thank you.
I think you might be our first repeat winner. I think you are. I'm not 100%
That is
sure,
awesome.
but pretty sure.
All right. Hello. Obviously, Michael Wallio, our winner, and Andrew Rogers are not who we have in the booth, but my name is Holly Blue, and congratulations on your finals, making it to the finals anyway.
Thank you.
We had a lot of fun watching you with your deck, just like we were watching you last time, basically tear through the top 8, but this time around, almost making it there. I love that, like, was it your first Rag Searches last time?
It was, yeah.
So your first time coming here to the Pauper Pro Tour, winning the Henry's gets aggressive, and then finally getting to the finals. It's been a long day. Getting to the finals in your second is pretty legit. So, how are you feeling right now?
Pretty good. Burn is a rough matchup, but other than that, everything feels really good.
Awesome. Do you want to talk a little bit about your deck and specifically the changes that we've seen since last time as we talked about it? I mean, last time we were focusing a lot on, the Spellweaver Eternals instead of the Delvers, and then the way that you were doing Metamorphose and in kind of the spell distribution. So what's changed since then?
So I'm still playing the Metamorphose because it's really good. I'm not playing Spellweaver Eternal because I found other cards that do kind of the same idea. Playing some Elusive Spellfist and some Wee Dragonauts. Just the main idea is to keep the threat count above 8 so that you can actually win when your opponents are removing your creatures.
Cool.
The other thing that I did was I begrudgingly gave in and put Brainstorm in. It does a lot.
How many ways do you have to shuffle a Brainstorm away?
I have 6. I run 3 Terramorphic and 3 Evolving Wilds.
Okay, and then Ponders as well.
Right, and 4 Ponders.
Cool.
The reason I was against it so far was because I really don't like Ash Barrens, because my deck is really pressed to keep 1 land a lot of time.
Most people have been looking at Ash Barrens as pretty much just a strictly better Evolving Wilds / Terramorphic Expanse, but in a deck like yours, where it's really important to be able to keep just 1 land and some cantrips,
Yeah.
I can definitely see where you'd rather have those tap lands instead.
Yeah, so I'm playing only 16 lands total, so it's really important that you can keep your 1-landers no matter what the 1-land is.
Absolutely. And what were you thinking in the last couple of games there? Just the first game was so tight. And they were both so tight. I mean, this was a really hype finals, I have to say.
Yeah. So game 1, I was positive that I had to go for it there. He had 3 lands in hand, I was at 3. There was no way that trying to block for another turn was going to get me there. And I counted everything up, and if I cast at least 1 daze that turn, I had 2 in my hand.
Yeah.
Then I would win. But I needed him to make the first move, because I didn't have the mana to pay for my own daze.
And you only had 1 daze in your hand,
I
right?
had 2 dazes in my hand.
Okay.
But I didn't have the mana to pay for my own days on a Battle Rage, so I had to try and entice him to do something. And that's why I cast the Mutagenic Growth early.
Yeah. We also talked about you can daze your own spell and then daze that daze.
Right, but then
But then you're just dead to any spell, any bolt or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that was super sick. I mean, that was basically we saw Michael, we was maybe should he go for it, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I'm just going to pass and then hold it up. And that ended up being huge in that game.
Yeah.
Just being so patient with that bolt. And the same thing happened in game 2 as well, waiting for you to tap out of blue mana before going for the double fire blast bolt you for lethal.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, I revealed it.
We saw that,
I had stacked the Hydroblast on top. I just
Gotcha.
needed to resolve. I couldn't have the Hydroblast and not have the Brainstorm because then I didn't have enough spells to kill.
Gotcha.
So I needed to put it that way and hope that he didn't kill me in response. And he had it.
So a really tight finals. It was really entertaining, and I'm excited to see more Izzet Blitz from you at future Rags to Riches.
Definitely.
You're still
I don't
pretty
see myself
infinite.
moving off of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
and hopefully we get some even cooler tech next time. Anything spicy in the sideboard this time around?
No, I just moved the Vapor Snakes there. They were in the main
Gotcha.
deck last time, and they're really good. A lot of people expect me to bring in Electrickery, so I see a lot of Spider Silk Armors out of the Elf decks against me. And
It's a Vapor Snag.
yeah, Vapor
That's real.
Snake, it's obviously not as good against Elves, but it helps you win so many of the other racing matchups. It's how you beat Mono Green Stompy. It's even good against Burn. Obviously wasn't good against the Lava Runner.
Right.
But it's good against the 2-1, whose name I forget.
The Firebrand Archer.
Yes,
And
it's good against
also
that one.
Thermo Alchemist, even better, since
Yeah.
it doesn't have haste or whatever.
Right, so it's good against those two really being time locks.
Absolutely. Well, is there what's your Twitter so people can come go and find you?
I'm at Lauren's Mulligan,
Cool. So that's
so
pretty
my name
easy.
with an S in the middle.
Just multiple Lauren's Mulligan. So
Yeah,
congratulations.
it's more an apostrophe S, but whatever.
Congratulations. Oh, wow, that's so good. I get it now. Congratulations on making the finals here at Rags Riches 19.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm also going to say goodbye. We had a lot of fun today with you, the chat. And that was the final. So we are done here in Ballard, Washington at Mox Boarding House, Seattle until the next Rags Riches, which should be in about somewhere around 6 weeks from now, we'll have another Rags to Riches event. That'll be the 20th Rags to Riches, which is crazy. That's so many Rags to Riches. But today was great. Finals were super awesome. And we will see you next time.